Well, thank you everybody for joining us for our last social media power hour session. I got to talk to Nancy a little bit yesterday about her goals for the week, and I shared mine and what I got up to or didn't get up to. We'll see. And and yeah, I think actually almost everybody on the call here gave me their goals last week, so we're going to review those. We're going to review some accountability. We're going to review the skills that we've learned the last 6 weeks, and then we're going to implement some new things maybe if everyone's up for it. But yeah, it is just after 10, so I am going to get started. Everyone else will trickle in. So of course, for our final one, we're going to have a slide deck. What am I without a slide deck? Who knows? So this one is, let's review goals, new skills, and accountability. So accountability is definitely something we talk about all the time. I know Scott talks about it. He's shared opportunities for people to have accountability coaching under him. He's shared how collaboration can really impact accountability. So I just wanted to start off with this and really set the tone for today's meeting and hopefully the future ones. Accountability is the responsibility of an individual or organization to answer for its activities. It involves accepting the consequences, both positive and negative, of one's actions. This principle ensures transparency, honesty in various processes and decisions, the cornerstone and trust of both personal and professional relationships, which I think is a really good definition of it. Some examples is instead of deflecting blame or making excuses for maybe a certain activity not being done, an accountable person owns up to their errors and seeks a new way to either develop that goal or get the job done. Seeking feedback, I think, is also really important in accountability. And that's why we talk about accountability coaching, accountability partners, because I know for myself, I'm great at making the goals, but I personally, you guys know I don't have a ton of experience being a realtor. I have loads of experience being involved in the industry, but as a realtor, I still too need accountability feedback from realtors that have been doing this for a long time. And when it comes to social media, that's something I have years of experience doing, but I know a lot of people on this call specifically and people that are watching, they don't. So having me as an accountability partner for your social media may be something that can allocate to seeking that feedback. So I'll start off with my goal. For the week, my goal was to add 30 people to my database from my social media. Be very honest, achieved? Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not a speck. But you know what? Some weeks are like that. But what I found really helpful was going through what I did, maybe not the excuses, but what I did instead and what I could have done differently and what I'll do differently next time. So my good habit was that I wrote down my goal, wrote it down right here with everybody else's. My bad habit was after writing it down, I shoved it in my purse and I didn't look at it until 4:45 yesterday afternoon. So that was not the best idea. The good habit was last week I was actually inspired to create more social media posts across my pages. These calls have gotten me really back into social media, really back into the real estate side of it and the consistency of it. The bad habit for that was that I didn't plan for that. I just felt inspired in the moment. I did it and that was great. But what I should have been doing is realizing that my goal was also connected to that, and I could have worked on that simultaneously or before or after I was doing that task. The good habit was I talked to my peers about my goal. I talked to you guys on the call. I actually talked to Nancy yesterday, as I mentioned. My bad habit was I talked to Nancy 15 minutes before the end of the day yesterday, and she gave me some really good advice. And if I had talked to her maybe a week ago, I probably would have gotten my goal done. So how do I adapt? So I don't want anyone to feel like they have to do it this way. Some people find that when they write down the good and bad parts of it, they focus a lot on the bad or whatever works for you. That's how I want you to structure something like this when you're reviewing your goals. But the key question to ask yourself is not what did I do wrong, but it's how do I adapt? So ensuring my eyes are on my goal. So physically having my goal written in front of me, either on my, I know some people do the desktop home screen, some people do it on the front screen of their phone. If I would have kept this on my desk, I would have seen it. So ensuring my eyes are on my goal physically, ensuring that it's tracked as a daily activity. I didn't need to add 30 people to my database in 20 minutes in one day. No one made that goal. The goal was in 1 week, 30 people to the database. So if I had done maybe 10 or 20 minutes on my socials, looking at people to add to my database, that would have helped a lot more than me sitting there for 15 minutes being like, oh my gosh, I have to add 30 people to my database right now. And beginning collaboration before the end of the timeline. And I was thinking about it in a way that's like, if you know that you're putting in an offer, so for example, there was an offer date today on something that I potentially was going to have with a client. So if I had not talked to her about the offer or I hadn't even started drafting the offer until today, I would have been rushed. I probably would have made mistakes because this is not common knowledge to me. I can't whip it out in 5 minutes. I can do it, but it doesn't take 5 minutes. And even with veteran realtors, it doesn't take 5 minutes. So having what I ended up doing was I started drafting it on Friday. By by Sunday, it was done. By yesterday, I had it reviewed twice by Scott. And by yesterday evening, I found out that we're not even putting that offer in anyways. But if I hadn't done anything, I wouldn't have, I would have been rushed. I wouldn't have had time to collaborate with my peers. I wouldn't have time for Scott to review it. And I would have been in a situation where I was more rushed about the offer than talking to my client about what they really wanted. So everything is so connected. So having these goals tracked as daily activities, doing a little bit here and there gives you a much more precise achieved goal, a much more detailed end result than having it rushed in 5 minutes just because you had a goal. So that was my week. Does anyone feel inclined to share their goal, their week? Were they able to fully complete their goal? Were they able to start on their goal? Did they end up creating a whole new goal and achieving that? Anyone want to share? Yes, Julia.
So I was going to do the same. I was going to add Facebook people to my CRM, and
Yes.
I looked up a way to download the list and I got stuck. So I put it away, and I did this last week, Thursday, I think, Thursday. And then Friday I got offers. So Friday and Saturday were kind of, sidetracked. So
Yeah.
I shifted and I found out how to do it from LinkedIn. So I did download full LinkedIn. Now, it's not in my CRM because there's like 1,400 people or something. So I think I need to go through it and decide how many I want to put in there. But that's what I did. So I did a pivot.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're in a position where you get stuck, then other stuff comes up and you get offers, which obviously is the end goal of all of this is to have transactions in real estate. Um, then yeah, we get sidetracked, but good on you, Julia, for shifting the goal, figuring out what would be maybe an easier way and sticking to getting those contacts exported and knowing what your next steps are. That's very good. Matthew,
I'll
do you want to go?
I'll stick
Oh,
the
sorry, Julie.
instruction. So I'll just stick the instructions in the chat. You can.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I mean, I just Googled it, but here it is.
Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah, as you know, you helped me out this week. My goal was to do some paid ads on Meta, and it did take a number of hours. I had to watch the video several times, but we were successful on Friday, and I've got about 15 to 17 leads so far. But about 15 of them are junkish leads. So there's been two or three people I've actually talked to. One was actually a real estate agent who had a listing on that same street that the house I was advertising's on. And I'm following up with two other people as well. So in less than a week, it is generating some movement, which is good. But yeah, there'd be a few things I do slightly different next time, I think.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Congrats to you for completing your goal. Yes, we definitely worked together on that. And when questions like that come up, if you can't find the resource or you can't find the tutorial video or instructions, there's always somebody that's probably done it. And more likely than not, it's probably been me. So please don't ever be afraid to call, text, email. I'm happy to hop on a Zoom and go through it. And as to Matthew's point, knowing what you would do differently next time or reviewing the results, no matter what the goal was, and tweaking it a little bit, figuring out what works for you. That's part of the whole goal setting too. So well done, Matthew.
If I could say the one thing I would do differently is there's an option to have to make them do a one-time passcode to verify their phone number. It may lower the number of leads you get, but it would create more quality leads. So that's something I would suggest if anyone does paid advertising next time. So a lot of people are putting down fake phone numbers.
Yeah, fair enough. We've got a few other people on the call here. Does anyone care to share?
Well, I didn't complete my goal. I
And
tried.
that, yes,
The effort was there.
the effort was there. And and that's a big part of it. I mean, you did better than me. I wrote mine down and put it away. So the effort was there. You and I had a conversation yesterday, and we've actually, while this may not have been the end goal, what you did do is you definitely started. You took the pictures, you learned the tools, you called in for backup. Like these are all great steps towards that goal. And for next time, we know, okay, maybe we need to give it a little bit more time, maybe a couple more days working together to create that end product.
Yeah.
But I would, Nancy, I would probably say you're like 75, 85% there.
Yay.
Yeah, like you're almost done.
I spent like almost a whole day driving around.
I know, but it's awesome. I'm so excited for everyone on this call to see Nancy's um, travels.
Teddy's
We'll call
travels.
well, yes, Teddy's travels. Um, I'm so excited. It's so awesome. I love it. And probably a new friend for Callie.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, so I definitely know that, and thank you guys for sharing. I know you guys were the ones that I had talked to and I was waiting for. Um, but but yeah, and when we're talking about goals, and I say let's be honest, it's because that's where the accountability is. It's in, okay, I didn't do XYZ, but you always have to look at it as, okay, I may not have done that goal, but maybe I pivoted. Maybe I did 75, 85% of that goal, because I'll be very honest with you, that's a lot better than most people are doing. Most people haven't even gotten to this point yet. So I congratulate everybody for writing down their goals, being productive, either completing their goals, working on their goals, whatever it is that you did this week that was different than what you did the week before, because just changing something is tricky. I can see Hunter's mic on.
Yeah. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes. Hi.
Yeah. So my goal was to get out and shoot a an event in my community or sort of a
Yes.
farm area.
Long form YouTube video about event in community.
Right. So I got out and did that. And it was a fabulous location. It was cold as
Nice.
hell out. Um, to the point that I was using my phone. I burned my phone, a full charge phone out. I ended up with 60 clips. So it's a nightmare to edit. So I've started the edit. Well, I mean, I'll just tell you that where it was. It was called Aaron Hill Acre, and it's great for kids. It's great for adults. It's a fabulous, fabulous location, and it's only $12 an adult to get in. A lot of these places are really expensive, and it had llamas, donkeys, chickens, baby goats. It had absolutely everything. Deer. It had all these different couches that you could go sit on and take your pictures at. It looked like about 20 acres to walk around. Lavender fields, live band, pizza ovens. So it was really an interesting place to go to. Anyways, like I said, I had my grandson there and my son and daughter-in-law. So I was sort of jumping back and forth. Took a lot of clips. Most of them came out pretty good. So it's just I've got a rough draft edit done. I just have to sort of put music to it and line up my cuts. And then I got sidetracked on sort of an idea for a property that I'm having a challenge with, and it's in my retirement community, and it happens to
Oh,
be the largest house in there, and it's got features in it that are larger than other properties. So I started thinking, what can I do to get some attention? And I thought, well, let's go on a theme of large or big or biggest. So I started in the rec center, and I'll share the blooper reel with the office only. But I started in the rec center. It's really, I'm not going to say it on a recorded call, but there's a pool. So though, largest pool and tennis courts and large pool table, and just sort of jumped into every room and just, 2 seconds, large pool table, large games room. And so I'm going to piece all that together. And then at the very end, I'm outside and I say, large deck. And I've got something else large to show you. That's one of my bloopers, if you can imagine. So I changed that. Can you imagine? I didn't even think. So that gets changed, obviously, to, and I've got something special to show you. So we go up to the house afterwards, and I just sort of go through the house, and I wanted to lead into the house with, something other than walking up to the front of a house and saying, "Oh, welcome to my listing." So that's why I started with the rec center, and then I end up in the house. And so that'll be I don't know, maybe a 45-second clip. So I filmed that as well, obviously. And so those are what I'm sort of working on. And like Julie, I ended up with a bit of a convoluted deal this week, which was an SPP getting canceled, and um, a new offer in on something else. So just seemed to take up more time than it should have. So yeah, so I got started, and now it's
good.
down to the editing part.
That's awesome. Well done. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm glad you captured both the event and the
Yeah,
funny bloopers. I'm excited to see them all.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Should be okay.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. We do have a few more people on the call. Before we move on to the skills that we've learned and some other stuff we have coming up, does anyone else want to share?
I didn't have a huge goal, but I did reach out to my 2 properties that closed, so it wasn't that hard to do to ask for Google reviews and things like that. But haven't got one yet, but at least I reached out.
Yeah.
And then obviously to set up a meeting with you, Michelle, to and we set that up. So I've got my check marks.
Fantastic. Yes, the
Keep the ball rolling.
two goals I have here for you were ask for Google reviews and set up a one-on-one. And absolutely, we can check those off, double check. That's awesome. All right, well, I don't see anyone else. Before I move on, just one last check. Anyone want to share? Okay. So now we're going to go back to the skills that we've learned, remembering what we went through back in the first session, back in, session 2 and 3. It was over a month ago. So I do want to bring this back up. I do want to share again. And we are going to make some new goals. And this may not be the last time you see me on Tuesdays. Hint, hint. So the first one I want to review is Instagram posting. So when we're posting to Instagram, we're talking about standalone visuals, whether they're a single or multiple photo carousel post. We're talking about short form videos, reels up to 3 minutes long, and stories, those daily profile picture posts that you are only there for 24 hours and you move on. As you can see here, reels work wonders. They do the best. People want to see you. They want to be social with you. I actually just had a session with one of the agents at Realty Executives Edge in Kitchener-Waterloo area. We chatted yesterday. He was working with this company that was automatically posting for him. And it got to a point where his wife said to him, "Your content is not engaging, and I'm not even interested in real estate." So he said, "Okay, then I have to change something, because if my wife, you don't even want to support my content, then something's not going well." So the biggest thing was him and I talked with his family as well, and everyone said the same thing. People need to see more of your face, not your professional business photo slapped on every piece of social media. So the reels, the posts, whatever it is, you do want to get somewhat personal with them. And I'm not saying share all this, family drama or anything like that, but do try and be in front of the camera. Do try and share you out in your community, you collaborating with somebody. I know Matthew's found success with the local business spotlights. That's a really more personal thing than just posting, just leased, just sold, whatever it may be. Facebook posting. So it has the similar features as Instagram, but you also have things like Facebook groups where you can really be a part of your community. You have Facebook Marketplace, so posting those maybe properties for sale or properties for rent, connecting your Facebook Messenger to these things to get leads that way. Those are all things that you can do with Facebook posting. For those of us that use TikTok, obviously videos do the best on TikTok. You can post photos, but things like, "I just had a showing where this happened," or a hook where here's the first mistake Ontario homebuyers make, something like that. And making sure that they're new. TikTok is very personable. It's so much so that people want to feel like they're on a FaceTime call with you. So they don't want the glitz and the glam and the highly edited. They want you propping up your phone and being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you this." Yeah, Matthew.
A quick question. I had a discussion with Herbert about this the other day in terms of frequency of posting.
Yes.
So like on Instagram, I know some of the sites you can post more quickly or less quickly depending on the application, but see like Instagram, like how often is enough or too much even, especially for posts and and Reels.
So how much are you posting right now?
Like every other day or so on average, I'd say.
Okay. Do you feel like it's taking up too much of your time, or do you feel like you could increase it?
It's not so bad. I'm just worried about like the quality of the posts in terms of how well they do. So sometimes I find if I post too often, they don't do as well. So I just wonder what's the right number of cadence in terms of how often we should be posting, as so it's not overwhelming for people. Like,
Yeah. So the reason I ask you all those questions is because that is usually the first question I get when I'm talking about social media to somebody, especially if they're new, or newer to social media. It's, well, what times are the best to post? How often should I be posting? And the first thing you have to understand is that people that have engaging audiences, they they fluctuate. They post, sometimes they post 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes they post 3 to 4 times a day. Like it doesn't matter who they are, it fluctuates. And when I ask about, do you feel like it's taking up too much of your time? You guys are not influencers or content creators, you are realtors. So if you are at a point where it's like, oh, I cannot possibly post on Instagram anymore, then guess what? You don't have to. So the goal, yes, would be to post daily. But to your point, post engaging content. So when I say post daily, I'm not talking about posting the same open house post 3 days in a row. I'm not talking about posting maybe, I'm like, just for you personally, maybe the local spotlights. There needs to be something between there that's more so engaging to your audience about you personally. Because remember, they follow you, they want to know about you. So that could be something that engages them more, because when people engage with even just one piece of content of yours, the likelihood that they'll see all the other ones is so much higher. Instagram says, okay, well, you've liked this one piece of content. It's happened to me. I like one piece of content about something I don't really care about, and then all of a sudden my feed is full of that one thing. So it's similar to us. If somebody likes one piece of content, maybe that has to do about Cali, or it has to do about your family or whatever, then the likelihood that that same person who has never engaged with your real estate, like open house or for sale content, the likelihood they'll see it and engage with it is much higher. So definitely change up the content. If you're going to be posting daily, don't post the same things. If you're not going to be posting daily, 3 to 4 times a week is usually the goal that I give people. It's something where they don't feel like it's too much. When I'm talking about posting, one thing I do want to be clear on is I'm not talking about stories, because stories go away. And then once they go away, it looks like you haven't posted at all. So when I'm talking about posting, I'm talking about posting in that feed. Stories, definitely, if you can engage with them daily, multiple times a day, then that is definitely what Instagram likes. But even if it's just once a day, or when you share your piece of content on your feed, you'll see that Instagram specifically, there's a section where it says, do you want to share to your story? And you just click yes. So it depends on how much time do you have to give, and how much content do you have to give. So if you feel like you don't have enough content, or you really need to work on it to build up that content stack, then maybe you should only be posting 3 to 4 times a week, or 2 to 3 times a week. If you feel like you got a lot to say and you got to have a lot to share, then yeah, posting daily is great. Does that answer your question? Perfect. Okay. Good question. The last platform we were talking about was YouTube. So with YouTube, obviously, we had a whole session on short form videos and long form videos. The ideas and planning for YouTube videos, I find, take longer just because they are a longer format. And a lot of the time, the way to make a longer video is to use two people. A lot of us here, especially with Realty Executives Plus, have sat down with Herb, and we've done on camera interview style videos that have lasted like some of the videos have lasted like an hour long. And they're really great. The content that comes out of them is awesome. And the reason they're so long is because they're more of a conversation piece. Some of the algorithm updates that lead back into all of these platforms is that the interest-based content is what is going to get you. And a good example of that is, if you guys remember me talking about Chantel, she did the Costco walkthrough video. Well, people were highly interested in that. This brand new Costco business center. Her hook was, I went to the Costco business center, so you don't have to. And she showed everything about her experience. And their team received so much engagement, received so many new followers. And I know for myself, when I was posting some of the Blue Jays content, I found that as well. And a lot of those followers will stick around because what we also do is we show support of our communities. We highlight the fact we're in Toronto. We highlight the fact we're in Oakville. So they may follow us for one thing, but guess what? Maybe they're also in Oakville, and you know, maybe they appreciate that that team shares events going on in the community, or they share charitable donation spots, or whatever it may be. Because part of posting that we've talked about is highlighting your community and what's going on. YouTube is best. That is the other thing we talked about. So having those long form videos, understanding that only 4% of real estate agents are actually on YouTube, and taking advantage of that. You guys with this knowledge now know that. So it's what you do with that that will make a big difference. Raw and relatable, as I said before. Facts tell, stories sell. People want relatable content. Up to 99% of your audience is not going to be buying a home soon. So if that's the only thing you're posting about, you're not going to be getting that engagement. Your branding, how much is your branding on your socials? Your feed needs to be able to answer the questions of, who do they work with as a consumer? What are they passionate about? And do I trust them? Engagement over vanity. A lot of the times we've heard people say, well, you know, my engagement this, my engagement that, but what does that really mean? So apps care more about saved, shared content than content with a lot of likes. You may be getting a very high amount of views, but you're not getting a lot of likes. But be sure to check out how many people are saving that content, how many people are sharing that content. A lot of times with the content that I like, you know, find interesting or I find newsworthy, I may not hit that like button, but I am sure I am hitting that share button and sharing that to everybody I know to let them know. So those are some things to keep in mind when you're thinking about, what is this post doing for me? Is this post something that can be shared, can be saved? Is part of my branding, answers the question of, what am I passionate about? Will they trust me? And then I had this YouTube video linked here as well, that I follow, that definitely all you guys should follow. Mike is someone that we have definitely watched before when it comes to real estate, social media, and content creation, and someone that you guys should definitely subscribe to. I'm not being paid to say that. I just think he's very good. And then when we talked about connecting and bleeding that social media into your database, how do you connect the two? So do they know how to find you, ensuring that your social medias are something you're promoting? I do something called a online presence and SEO audit, where I audit everything. I audit your social media, your Realtor.ca profile, your Google business profile, every place that a consumer could find you. I go there as a consumer to ensure that there's no breaks in website links, that all your social medias are up to date, that they're linked properly. Because when a consumer finds you, you want to make sure that there's not one piece of information that they click on that is going to make them turn away or believe that you are not an active realtor. Asking them to follow you, that's a big one. A lot of you have this big database, or you have maybe a big database on LinkedIn and you don't have that on Instagram. Ensure that you are where they are, asking them to follow you. Though, like, literally the worst they can say is no. The most likely result is that they're just not going to say anything. And not relying on scrolling. We use social media to grow our business, and I know something we've talked about before. I do it all the time. The doom scrolling, you get caught in the, I'll just want just a few more minutes, I'll just scroll, scroll, scroll. But a lot of people aren't like that, and a lot of people are getting away from that. So ensuring that what you're posting on social media, especially if it has to do with market updates or anything like that, you're putting that information into an email, into a phone call, into a different type of content that people everywhere in your database will see. Capturing, we talked about creating a free item or a call to service, sending a quick DM with a specific word to get a certain piece of information. There we go. The landing pages that we talked about, a lot of people on this call have Lofty. That's something that comes with Lofty. It also comes with most real estate agent websites. Calendly, sharing that Calendly in your Instagram bio, in your email signature, something where you're capturing a meeting quickly. And then the next steps, not assuming that people know what's going on in your life. And home sellers either assume you have social media or that their property is going to be featured on social media in a specific way. So you have to be very clear about what you are going to do with the property, what your plan of action is, what your next steps are with a property based on social media, because it will come up. Be prepared. If you know that this is a possibility, and we do, input this into your listing presentation. Add your social medias across your platforms when you're connecting with people, and make sure they're easy to find. And doing your best is the perfect amount. Like I said, you're not a content creator, you're not an influencer, you are a realtor. And the first and foremost thing is that you do those transactions, you work on the offers. Social media is just a way to ensure that you are promoting your business to the best of its ability. So I know that was like a mega dump of everything we've learned across 6 weeks, but has anyone been thinking about maybe a new goal or something they want to do for the holidays? Scott always talks about how Christmas, the New Year, it's always a great time to maybe create maybe a giveaway or a email campaign, or even just drop by and connect with clients. Has anyone thought about a goal for December, or maybe something they know that they're going to do? Yeah, Matthew.
I was going to get something for Christmas and go to the townhouse complex I've been farming, and just uh, everyone who's given me their name and email address and phone number, I'll give them something for Christmas small that gives me a reason to talk to them again, I guess.
Yeah, just like a small gift to say, thank you for engaging. I really appreciate it. And, just the people that you've added to your database is perfect. Yes, Nancy.
I'm gonna do the poinsettia thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Gonna do that.
I love it.
And of course my personalized Canva Christmas email, similar to the
Yes.
one that I sent out last year. It'll be a little bit different, but yeah, it'll still be dogs in elf hats.
Caitlin, you want to go ahead?
So we made, or well, no, we didn't make, we ordered from Etsy these little hot chocolate tube things. So there's like hot chocolate and sprinkles and marshmallows on the top and a little label that has our contact information on them. And we are giving them away at the Parade of Lights in town.
I love it.
Yeah. But something else that we just got delivered yesterday from a financial company that's just next door that we
Mhm.
kind of refer to a lot and they refer back to us. They wrapped an advent calendar and gave it to us, which I thought was a really good idea. Like they're doing it obviously to many companies that they work with. We can't do that this year. Obviously, it's a small town, and they'd be like, "We waters." But I thought it was a good idea. Like everyone gets like a little advent calendar, and they get a chocolate every day, and they just thought it was a good, different idea.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially because like every day I would think about that company.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, I know for me personally, I have some percolating ideas. But I have not decided on anything yet. I do a lot with my family around the holidays. So I'd really like to start featuring more of my family on my real estate page, get a little bit more personal with that. Start really transitioning stuff from my like personal private account to my real estate page. I'm diving head into real estate, guys. Um, but I'd like to do that. We cook a lot over the Christmas break, and on December 20th, my entire family is getting together for our Gilmore family Christmas. And somehow I got roped into a lemon bar baking competition with my boyfriend, thanks to my mom. So I think sharing that and sending out the recipe for whoever wins is something that I would like to do for my database. Similar to Matthew, this year I had quite a lot. Well, for those of you who don't know, I just got my license about 18 months ago. So last August I got licensed as a realtor, and this year I've had all of my transactions and clients and everything. So I definitely owe a big thank you to all of them for putting their trust in me. So I personally won't do the poinsettias, but last year for my friend who worked with my dad to get her place, we did orchids. They're super easy to take care of. They're very small. Most of my people are in condo buildings, so it doesn't take up too much room or anything like that. You just put it by a window, and um, so yeah, that's something that I'm going to be doing. Anyone else care to share? Okay. So we have done quite a lot, and I am very happy with our results of our 6 weeks. I mean, I really appreciate everyone just dedicating the hour on Tuesdays to showing up. I know that everyone's busy with other things, but this has become something that I started it a couple years ago in 2023. I really do think it is helpful. There's so many changes to social media. I get so many questions about social media. So having this hour has really helped me, and I hope has helped you to keep everyone up to date on things, to keep myself up to date, and to keep consistent with growing social media and understanding all the intricate things about it. So with that being said, I would like to make these social media power hours monthly. I think weekly, I'm probably going to run out of things to say, but monthly, I would like to do the first Tuesday of every month at the same time at 10 a.m. And we get together to find out what's new in social media, what's changed, what's working, what's not working. A lot of the times we'll try something, or I'll try something and find out, oh, that did not work, or people did not engage with that. And we hold each other accountable for showing up on social media. We've clearly been consistent. We've set goals these 6 weeks, and I don't want to lose that momentum. And I know over the holidays, we're probably going to lose that a little bit because that's normal. But starting in January, that first Tuesday, I want to be back on here. I want to be back holding each other accountable, seeing what worked over the holidays, getting those New Year's goals completed. How does that sound to everybody? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Fantastic. Yay! Okay. So I will be sending out a calendar link. It's going to be a consistent Zoom link. So I probably won't send it out all that often. It's going to be the same one. It's going to be in that calendar invite. And when Google Calendar asked me today the end date, I left it blank. So we'll we'll just have these till the end of time. And yeah, so the first Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m., we will meet again and go through everything. So that's what I'm looking forward to. You can also watch all of our sessions on YouTube. The social media power hour Google Drive is also available, and that's something I'll send out again to everybody. Something else I brought up a little bit earlier, but I do want to bring it up again. And Caitlin, this is actually going to be something we talk about in 13 minutes. But the online presence and SEO audit that I do, that is a free service open to everybody that's a part of Realty Executives. I go through the eyes of the consumer onto every single profile, but I have that column, and then I have a second column that's titled Next Steps. And we go through every single platform talking about what you could be doing differently. And then you and I work together to complete those things. And again, this totally free service, this is literally my job. So I would like to continue to be employed. And so, yes, everyone's shaking their head, yes. But these are totally free services. And the calling, texting, emailing me, please ask me questions about socials. One thing I know that anyone that's talked to Herb in the office, he's prime example of the time that he felt that he wasted not asking questions. He spent hours on social media trying to do something, trying to do this. He called me into his office, said, "How do you do this?" I did it in 5 minutes. And he's like, "Are you kidding me right now?" He's like, "I could have been done with this." So, and I know it can be a little tricky if we're not physically in the same office, but that's why we have FaceTime, we have Zoom, we have all these resources that can help us. And I work at a regional level, so this is for all the brokerages with Realty Executives in Ontario. So just wanted to make that clear. And that is all from me. You're welcome.
That's it.
Thank
That's
you
all.
for doing all of this. It's been great.
You're
I look forward
welcome.
to January.
Yes, me too. I will be sending that out along with some of the things we talked about today, that Google Drive, the SEO online presence audit. If you are interested in that and you're on this call right now or you're watching this recording, just shoot me an email, let me know. Email is the best way to contact me. I know I have like 20,000 different email addresses. They all go to the same place. So you can just use whatever one you want. But email is definitely the best way to contact me. If I don't respond right away, it is because I'm leaving on Friday for a little week in the Dominican with my family. So,
Nice.
yeah, so that should be fun. But I'm mostly here over the holidays. I mean, you will all be getting our holiday schedule soon, but definitely in the new year, picking this back up once a month, keeping each other accountable, keeping up with what's new on socials and what's working, I think is going to be really good.
Well, I'm sure everybody on the call certainly appreciates your time and all of the It's not just the presentation time, it's all the time you put into making those slides and doing the research and doing like there's more like background stuff that people need to appreciate.
Thank you. That's very nice. But yeah, that is it from me. I do really enjoy doing this, so I'm glad that everyone's on board for the monthly stuff. And if you have any questions or as Caitlin did, if you want to do a one-on-one session with me, just reach out, let me know. We can do the audit, we can just go through your socials and you can just let me know what your goal is and I can just give you some ideas. I've also had people just DM me being like, this is something I saw, how would you do this? And happy to do that too. So any type of social media marketing help that you need, I would very much like to put my film and media degree to actual use. So so please yeah, reach out at any time. And I look forward to seeing everyone on the first Tuesday in January. If not before, obviously. But yeah. All right.
Okay, go sell houses,
Thanks
guys.
so much.
Yes. Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks. You too.